Hi, welcome to Ed Podcast. And today's episode, we will have a very meaningful conversation about the 7 habits of highly effective people with our very meaningful guest. She is a member of the Lighthouse team of the LaSalle Santiago Zobel School, the first LaSallian leader in me school in the Philippines. She is none other than Miss Erica Bagnes. Hi.
Hi, teacher Hannah. Thank you for having me today and thank you for inviting me. It's my honor to share whatever I learned from my journey as part of this initiative in the school where I'm working with.
Of course, it's also our honor to have you here right now in our ad podcast. And where did you learn about these 7 habits that we are going to talk about today?
Okay, so the first time I heard about the 7 habits of highly effective people was back in 2021. So it was first introduced to us as a school, being one of the schools who started to be a leader in the school. And when you say leader in me, it's a whole school improvement process based on the idea that everyone, may it be students, teachers, staffs, kuyas and ates, and people, can be a leader. So that is an evidence-based approach empowering students with the leadership and life skills they need to thrive in the 21st century.
Wow, that's a very transformational school. And teacher Erica would like to know as well, what is the importance of us talking about these 7 effective habits?
Actually, when we started applying the 7 habits of highly effective people back in 2021, the main goal of the school is to really introduce or reintroduce to the students the Lasallian core values or the core values of our school. And back when I was in high school, though, just so you know, no, it's really we're really struggling. No, we are really are struggling back when I was in high school to know and to understand the vision and mission of the school. So the school where I'm working with right now come up with an idea of what if we became this leader in this school, incorporating these 7 habits as well as the Lasallian core values of faith, service, and communion and mission. So through these 7 habits, it will prepare the students in the real world context as well.
Well, I can actually relate to that. Even me, when I was a student, I don't have even a clue of our core values. And it's a good thing that your school is really adapting or really applying, trying to apply to students' lives. And can you give us a little introduction or briefing about these 7 habits?
Sure, teacher. So first is maybe something about the Leader in Me initiative that we have. So Leader in Me was introduced first by Franklin Covey Education. And Franklin Covey Education is one of the most trusted providers of educational leadership programs and transformational processes. Actually, this is not just for education. They also offer for businesses, for other industries. It incorporates Stephen Covey's 7 habits of highly effective people, which has empowered and inspired people for over 30 years. And it played a part in the transformation of millions of lives across all age groups and professions. So we have be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and so on and so forth, which will be discussed further later.
Yes, and actually, this topic is not just for us to use professionally, but we can also use this in our daily lives personally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
and
so true.
maybe we can already start with our first habit. You can already introduce us.
Of course. So let's start with habit 1, be proactive. When you say be proactive, we encourage our students to take a look at their own actions. Um, we have to remind them that there are things that they cannot control, but there are also things that you can control. Right? So our reminder to them is control things that you can control. Okay. How first, no, think before they click. We want to remind them to think before they click, think before they speak, and think before they act. No, especially nowadays, there are a lot of things happening in the social media, isn't it, teacher?
Yes, and
There,
it's
yes,
very timely because
that
students right now they are really involved with the social media, and I think it's a good thing that you remind them about being accountable of their actions.
That's right. They have to be accountable of their own actions. And on the other hand, naman, whenever they feel something, because of course, because of the pandemic and a lot happened in the past, or maybe their life stories as well and backgrounds, we will let them know that their feelings are valid, no. But we also let them understand that they must be accountable of their own feelings as well, on how they're going to cope with that feeling and how they will convert that feeling into something positive. So that's habit one, being proactive.
Wow.
And for us teachers naman, in a school context, no, we try to be preventive rather than being reactive. In a way that whenever we give interventions, before kasi, no, when I was in high school, I was part of those students who are really taking remediation class. And remediation class happens after the school year na. No, according to DepEd, interventions must happen talaga before, during, and or after a certain period or a grading period or a term. That is to prevent the students from failing at the end of the school year. So that's also being proactive, right? That's also being proactive. And in that way, we will also be able to achieve the goal that we set earlier of the school year.
Yeah, and to add with that, speaking of the goal, I think we should be very transparent at the very beginning of about our goals, objectives, what are they expected to do, and what are the things that we need to do in this semester. It's really so that the students will be aware and they can prevent things to happen in the future, right? So it's
Yes,
like
that
prevention is better than cure.
that is right. And actually, that is what habit two is. Habit two is begin with the end in mind. And
Oh,
begin with the end in mind means you have to define your vision and your purpose clearly. And in defining the vision and your purpose, first is you should know the vision of the school where you are working with if you're a teacher. And for students, you have to know as well the vision of the school you have for you in the future. And so, because everything that we do must have a purpose, right? All of the things that we do must have a certain purpose or a direction. No? So, beginning with the end in mind, for this academic year in DLZ, what we did is we came up with what we call WIGS. Familiar with that,
oh.
teacher?
Not so. I just know the wig for hair. But what is wig in education or in your school?
Actually, WIGS is an abbreviation for wildly important goals. So, wildly important goals are being done or being constructed at the start of the school year. It's actually for each of the levels. No? For us, grade 8, our wildly important goal for academics and in behavior specifically is to decrease the number of violation reports by 20%. And on the other end naman, we want to increase the number of commendations of the students by 30% because there are a lot of students na who are really incurring sanctions because of their behavior in the past year. And hopefully, through this seven habits, introducing these seven habits, hopefully there is a change in their positive change in their behavior.
Yes, hopefully.
And that's what
Okay.
habit two will begin with the end in mind is.
Yeah,
It must be clear not only to the students but for the whole community.
exactly. Because it's there's a saying like it takes a village to raise a child, right? So it's not just us who's responsible of those children of our students, but it's the whole community. And what we do in our school will also affect the community, so it's really a helping hand, right? Yeah.
Yes, that is true. And it's not only for, let's say, if you are an advisor, you can take note of this. As a teacher in general, you can incorporate these beginning with the end in mind. Because when you set goal in a particular day, that's learning targets, right? What are your goals for the day? What are the competencies that the student should learn in a particular day? So it should be clearly being relate to the students as the start of the lesson. So that's beginning with the end.
Yeah, I think it should be part of our routine as teachers,
That
right?
is true.
Transparency is the key.
Yes, that is right. So now can we move forward to habit three?
Yeah.
And habit three is what we call put first things first, right? So putting first things first is it incorporates the word big rocks. Ano ba yung mga big rocks natin? Kung sa buhay, ito yung mga challenges. No? Para sa mga estudyante, ang challenges talaga nila is to complete the tasks. Right? So, sa student context muna, we encourage our students to have their own checklist of activities, tasks that they need to do. Basically, it answers the question, what are your priorities? No?
Knowing the
Tayo individually.
priorities.
Yes, you have to know your priorities. Tayo individually, ang dami nating priority, pina-priority, no? Pero sa school context naman, no, sa mga bata, kailangan alam nila, no, sa paggawa pa lang ng task, they should know which tasks are, well, all of the tasks that they do naman in school are all important. But they should also know how to reclassify those tasks as important and urgent, and those tasks that are important but not so urgent, for them to know which should be done first, which should
Exactly.
he or she prioritize first.
Yes, exactly. And which interests me, Teacher Eric, I would like to know, how do you do your checklist? Do you for work and your personal life, do you do same list, or you separate your list for work and for life, or for personal life?
Well, definitely, whenever I'm at home, I have my checklist as well. But whenever I am in school, I'm having my own checklist for that particular day. Every day, I'm updating my checklist. And it's really such a relief that you are scratching, or you are highlighting, or highlighting those things that you already done. There is something na you feel that you're
Satisfying.
satisfied. That's right. That's the right term. There's satisfaction na, oh, I did something productive today, right? So that's what habit three, put first things first,
And
is.
you will realize, oh, I'm so productive today. What a great
That is
day.
yeah, and you commend yourself too for that. Diba?
Yeah, so you do it separately because we
Yeah,
believe that there should be work-life balance, right, teacher?
exactly. Work-life balance, teacher.
Okay. And what about the habit four?
Okay, habit four is about mutualism in biology. Habit four is really think win-win. Okay, so thinking win-win embraces an attitude that continually seeks mutual benefit in our interactions with others. It is choosing to believe that there is plenty for others, and that other people's success doesn't come at a cost to us. Sabi nga, it's either you're nice daw or you're tough. But thinking win-win means it requires you to be nice at the same time you're tough as well. It balance the act between courage and consideration, diba? And that's interdependence, diba? Aanhin mo na makakarating ka on top, no? Magiging successful ka, but then other people are still on that level. Mas masarap na marating mo yung isang bagay with people beside you, diba?
Yeah. And I think that we should always consider other people's feelings. But if it will really hurt their feelings when you say no, sometimes we have to say no, right? But we just have to be professional about it. I mean, just say
Yes,
it professionally and nicely. And because at the end of the day, the goal is for us to meet in the middle and be on the same page. Because we cannot
yes,
be on our own. We will always be doing pakikisama or be with other people. So it should be a win-win for both sides or for both parties.
that is right. And even in a particular school or school context, diba? All of the decisions of the school must have something to do with or must be beneficial not just for the school itself, but for the teachers and the students and the parents or the entire community. Lahat ng decision must be coming from all of those, diba? It should be beneficial for everyone, not just for the school as a business in a business side, but also for everyone.
That's
At
true.
the end
That
of
is
the
what we
day,
call true leadership, effective
that
leadership.
is yes, exactly. And that's habit number 4. Think win-win.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we can move on to habit number 5.
Yeah, sure. Habit 5 is what we call seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Oh, it's
And what
related
is
to 4.
these? Yes, it's very much related. Well, all of these habits are interconnected to one another actually. But habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. It's the practice of empathic listening. And what is empathic listening? Listening with the sole intent to understand another person within their frame of reference. Meaning to say, whenever you listen by heart, by not just by your sense of hearing, but also by heart. And you must you will be able to understand the person if you put yourself on the shoe of that person. And that's empathic listening. And nowadays, no, sa context ng mga kabataan na meron tayo ngayon, ng mga mag-aaral na meron tayo ngayon, marami silang pinagdadaanan.
Exactly.
Mental health problem, right? They need somebody to listen to them. And we must practice this. We seek first to understand in order for us to understood that particular student. Ang dami nilang, siguro dahil na rin sa pandemic, epekto ng pandemic, or epekto ng mga pinagdadaanan nila sa buhay, or napagdaanan nila na trauma nung kabataan pa nila. Kaya nagiging ganito ang behavior ng mga bata. Ang kailangan nila is someone na makikinig sa kanila at maiintindihan ang kanilang sitwasyon.
I
And
know
that's
that.
why we are here for them.
Yes. And personally, my observation for the generation right now, the new generation or the Gen Z, um, if you, I mean, if you just try to control them, I mean, if you are not going to listen to them and, try to control them and tell them this is what you do and this and that, don't do that, they will, do rebel things or they will be rebellious. So I think the
That's,
best approach for the generation right now is to listen to them because
yes,
usually us adults we tend to compare the generation before and now, and I think it's very wrong to do that because what are the things that works before might not work right now because it's a different generation, it's a different world, especially because of technology. It's really a changed world, so we shouldn't really compare that, right, teacher? Do you agree with me?
that is true. Oo, totoo yan. No? Marami sigurong hindi pa malinaw sa atin na mga gawain ng mga kabataan ngayon or mga pinapaniwalaan ng mga kabataan ngayon. Kaya mahalaga na maintindihan din natin sila. No? And pagdating naman sa organization or sa particular school, mahalaga na ang mga namumuno or mga leaders natin are people who practice empathic listening to their people as well. Because that's the true leadership, diba?
Yeah,
Mahalaga na napapakinggan ang daing ng mga empleyado, ang opinyon ng masa, lalo na ng mga teachers, kasi tayo yung may direct na contact sa mga estudyante natin at the same time sa mga parents na rin. It's for para rin yun sa ikatatagumpay ng kung ano man yung mission or vision na isinet natin clearly sa kanila at the start of the school year.
Yes, it's really communication is the key, because communication is not just, talking to each other. It needs to be it needs to start with listening, understanding. That is really what communication is.
Yes, and that's habit 5. We have to stick first to understand for us to understand the situation.
Exactly. And maybe we can move on to habit 6.
Of course, so habit 6 is synergize. To put it simply, synergy means two heads are better than one. And synergize is the habit of creative cooperation. It is teamwork, open mindfulness, and the adventure of finding new solutions to old problems. Sabi nga, in mathematics, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Sabi nga, as a math major here. So, mas nagiging maganda yung resulta if we are working together rather than if we're working individually. Bakit? Kasi mas napapakinggan ng iba't ibang ideya mula sa iba't ibang tao or iba't ibang perspective. Diba? In a school context, mahalaga na involve talaga ang buong community, as I was saying earlier. Bakit? Dahil maaaring yung principal has a different point of view than that of teachers who are really who are really in contact directly to the students, right? And together, if we can produce far better results than that of what we could do individually.
And I think collaboration is one of the skills na dapat i-hone ng mga bata rin. Because in reality, if they will be an adult, as what I've said earlier, they will really do pakikisama. They will be working in an institution, and they have to deal with other different kinds of people. So synergy is really a must, a skill that must be mastered. How do you deal with other people? How do you communicate with them? And that should start in a classroom where a teacher should do or plan activities that will let them do or give them opportunity to collaborate.
That's right. Oo. And that's preparing also them sa paglabas nila sa school or in the real world context, di ba? Kasi dahil kahit sa trabaho, kung saan man sila mapupunta, it will be needing much of collaboration.
Yes. And as what you've said, no man is an island. Walang taong mag-isa. We will always be with other people. So, kailangan wala tayong choice. We really need to know how to get along with each other. Right?
Yes.
And of course, the last but not least, the habit number 7.
Habit number 7. After all of the 6 habits that requires us to seek first, to understand, to be proactive. Of course, we set our goals first, to think win-win, and to synergize. We have to understand na napapagod din tayo. And that's what habit 7 is. We have to sharpen the saw. Sabi sa sharpen the saw. Yes, actually, we can totally relate on this. Sharpen the saw means preserving and enhancing the greatest asset one could have, which is you yourself. Diba? It means having a balanced program for renewal in the 4 areas of your life, which are physical, do exercises, social, emotional, mental, spiritual. No, just to share with you, how do we practice this in school? Meron kaming monthly na tinatawag na pagmumuni, pagtataya, no? Which is a community reflection na nagpagkakataon siya para sa aming lahat, no? Lahat ng empleyado sa school, may it be teachers, admins, staffs, kuyas and ates namin sa school, magkakasama kami in a particular venue and you're going to pray and just reflect. Napakasarap sa pakiramdam na you have someone who are really there and someone na who will be praying with you. in that particular hour lang of pagtataya o pamumuno. No? So we really have to sharpen our saw. And individually, of course, personally, we have to do something as well para makapagpahinga tayo. Kailangan meron tayong me time.
Yeah, work-life balance.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So, sabi nga, hopefully, no? Sabi nga, ang work daw ay dapat 10% lang sa pie ng sa buhay ng isang tao. So, sana 10% lang din po ang inilalaan natin sa pagtatrabaho.
Parang hindi ako tao.
Dapat din po yung standard.
May reflection
10%.
ako. Parang hindi ako tao. Dun kasi 10%, I think I'm not human.
Maybe we have to practice this habit more. Habit 7, which is sharpening the saw. Sabi nga, diba, we cannot give what we don't have. So how will we be able to teach minds of these students? How will we be able to transform their lives if tayo sa sarili natin, di din natin naiintindihan yung sarili natin, or tayo nauubos din tayo.
Yeah.
Diba? So, kailangan natin mag-freshen up. Yes.
We really, basically, number 7 is really taking a break, right? And it's really a must, especially to prevent burnout. Kasi pag burnout na tayo, I think we cannot function well as a person or as an individual. So to avoid that, we need to give ourselves time. It's also a way of having self-care, right?
That's right. So, kaya nga, yung bawat araw, it's a new opportunity for us to renew, to revive ourselves. It's a new opportunity to recharge ourselves as well.
So being positive. So I think that's it. Those are the 7 habits, right, teacher?
Yes, those are the 7 habits of highly effective people. Pero siguro dagdagan natin ng isa pang habit.
Oh,
no? Kasi,
talaga? So we're talking about 8 habits here. So what's the last one?
Actually, just to share with you, these 7 habits of highly effective people is a book talaga written by Stephen Covey. Now, nagkaroon siya ng sequel na book which is entitled From Effectiveness to Greatness. And it talked about habit number 8, which is find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. So ano ba tong find your voice and inspire others to find theirs? Now that you are already successful, sabi nga ni Stephen Covey, those who inspire others to find theirs are the leaders needed now and for the future. Kaya naman, to cut this short, there are people who will be expressing how they live out these 7 habits of highly effective people. And we interviewed them.
Wow.
These are some of the successful leaders in the community and, of course, in education. So
you know what? You surprised me because I invited you to have this conversation with us and you invited people. So they are really powerful people that will share about their effectiveness as an individual or as a leader in our society, right?
Yes. So these are successful leaders that hopefully will inspire all of us as well, especially those who will be watching this stream, to do the same. And hopefully, once they are already there, they will be also trying to find their voice and inspire other people naman to do the same for themselves.
So without further ado, these are the people who already achieved greatness. So let's watch the interview.
I believe in the leadership management, we need to have some theory to rely on. And as the foreign language department chief at Sinapung School, I try to initiate new things, new ideas for our staff members to put in a good use. And without realizing it, we put in some COVID-7 habits to manage our department. And in my department style, I need to be proactive about many things, because I believe that being proactive or being initiative is the important task for our members to create new things, to improve the traditional, and some obsolete stuff. And it is good that you need to be good to set the goals. You also need to set some clear goals, some what you need to do, prioritize things, put first thing first, as the COVID habitat, and you prioritize things, and you set the clear goals and be creative about it, and you need and it will come out as a successful project, in my opinion. And of course, being in order to get into that goal, you need to have a meeting, and you need to listen to some opinions, and you need to listen. Being the head of the department, you need to listen more than you speaking. Because as a leader, you need to make them believe that you listen to their ideas, and you take into account that you listen to them, and you consider their options. And it is the psychological management too, because if they believe that you listened to their ideas and you take charge of it, and you have a meeting, and ask for opinions, and the team will work together, and we can make the successful project in the future. And of course, when it happens, it succeed your goal, you need to maintain that, and you sharpen your saw, as in the COVID's habit, and you continuously doing that good project of yours, and create some new project to improve your department even more.
Okay.
I believe the most impactful habit in my leadership style, according to the COVID-7 habit, I would say be proactive, because I believe this habit is the fundamental for other habits in the future, and to become the successful project or successful innovation in the future, you need a proactive mind. I mean, like, you have to introduce some new project, some new ideas to how to improve the old mindset or the obsolete stuff, to get better, by introducing or encouraging your staff, your members, to look at it together, to brainstorm the new ideas, to brainstorm the new projects together. I believe if I initiated this and make use of this proactive mindset, other members would follow and would think that is this a good idea too, to change and to improve the project together. I believe if you have this proactive mindset, other habits will follow. Whether it's the first thing first, prioritizing, everything is gonna be set, get straight, and it would be the successful project in the future. I believe this proactive is the key for the positive effect on others.
A former public school teacher for 11 years, and 4 years commissioner for the Presidential Commission for the Poor and Poor, and presently I am the director of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. And for me, being a leader, it makes you sense of compliments and inspiring other people it is not only for yourself, but also for the other people, especially those who are in needs. Pag sinasabi mo kasi leadership, napakalawak din na responsibilities and accountability at the same time. But it is not more of prestige or the position, but it is a sense of responsibilities not only for yourselves but also especially those who are poor and marginalized sector. Yung talaga ibibigay mo lahat na yung commitment to help them. And of course, when you give something as a leader, you don't have to expect something in return. Yung talaga yung mukha mo sa buhay, yung talaga yung palagi kong sense of fulfillment ko sa buhay. Na kapag nagbibigay ka, hindi mo kailangan ng kapalit. Kapag meron ka lang makapasaya na tao in one day, makapag-smile, kung ano yung very fulfilling na yun. And leadership is not only just a position. Lahat naman ito pwede maging leader. It's the sense of how you interpret it on yourself.
So, Director Landy, among those 7 habits of leadership, 7 habits of highly effective people, which habits do you practice in your profession as a teacher and why?
For me, I really practice finding your voice and inspire others. Because for me, you have to find your purpose in life and ano gusto mong mangyari sa buhay mo na hindi lamang sa sarili mo kundi sa ibang tao. For me, when I was a teacher, for me, it's quality education of the indigenous people to transform their lives into productive to livelihood and quality education. Talaga yung alam sa iyo ng buhay dun sa frontline areas. So I inspired them na being poor or is not the hindrance of being success na hindi ka makakuha ng magandang edukasyon. No? Hindi ka makapagtapos sa pag-aaral. Yun talaga yung palagi kong sinasabi sa mga. That is, I keep them inspiring them na mag-aaral na mabuti, for them to be productive in their assistant land, protect their assistant land. No? So, I know also become more productive for that. And of course, inspiring others to become a role model, engage them to your success stories. No? Kasi ganyan din nangyari sa buhay ko. Right? Ang maraming challenges, but I finished college even though maraming mga challenges, especially financial. So, yun na rin po sinasasabi. Because when you inspire others, you create positive change on this. You create positive change and inspiring others can take you, kasi magsiset yan naman eh. Pag na-inspire mo sila, namumultipon yung mga magandang gawain sa ibang tao. So, meron lang sa lahat kasi yung kanila, pag nabigyan mo sila ng inspiration, nagbibigay ka sila ng hope. So, kapag ang tao may hope, kaya nilang pasalin natin ng problema kapag may pag-asa. Kasi meron sila nakitang inspiration na tao na kaya pala. So yun eh, finding your voice and inspire other people.
And then the effects of it
Yes, and
to the next generation.
Yes, to the next generations. Yun, sunod-sunod na yun eh. Mag-duplicate na yun.
Yes.
Wow, thank you so much for inviting them to join us here. You really surprise us. They are a true evidence of achieved greatness for using the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. And would you like to leave us something to remember? Maybe a wrap up for everything?
Sure. As a wrap up, by integrating these 8 habits into daily lives of individuals, individuals can develop a proactive mindset, improve relationships, and achieve greater personal and professional success. And I believe if these habits are introduced in schools, we will be able to see positive change in our community.
Totally agree with you. So it's just really a productive day today. And of course, we would like to leave you a quote before we end our episode today. This is from John C. Maxwell. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way and shows the way. Thanks again, Mom Erica. Nice meeting you again. This is me, Hannah, for your Ed Podcast episode today. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Mom Erica.
Thank you.